Hello everyone, welcome back to Story Time. We are currently reading Ninja Nan Strikes Again by Annaliese Matheron, and Annaliese is a local author who has very kindly said that we can read her stories. So this is the last chapter today. Hopefully everything will tie up. I hope that they can get the bad guy, because not only does he want to change the minds of teenagers, he wants to change the minds of all the old people too. Who is he? Who does he think he is? What's he doing? Let's find out. Chapter 14. Teacher's Pet. Ben and Kieran stood outside the haunted house ride, watching the long line of teenagers queuing. They were being closely monitored by a team of sharp-suited young men and women who had arrived to provide backup once the action was over. From what Ben had told Uncle Cedric about how Kieran changed back, Uncle Cedric had found that if the teenagers took a second turn on the ride and were told to go back to being who they were when they were restored to normal. Well, as normal as teenagers get. But the modified teens were putting up a bit of a protest about going on the ride, saying it was too scary. So they had changed the name of the ride to Wigglypuff Wonderland and filled it with Wigglypuffs of all colours and sizes from the smaller stalls at the fair. This was proving a great hit until they came out, anyway. "I can't believe I was just like them," Kieran said whilst he was messing up his slick down hair. His shirt was now untucked and his super shiny shoes were not so shiny anymore. "What do you mean was?" Ben said. "Nice shoes." "Look, it's not my fault. I wasn't myself. You know I'd never be seen dead wearing these shoes, and they really pinch my toes." "Yeah, I know. That's how I realised you weren't yourself." "Thanks," Ben said. "No, thanks, Ben," Kieran said. "You know, for bringing me back." "You're welcome. To be honest, you were a bigger pain in the butt than usual." "Thanks, I think," Kieran said, rubbing his knuckles on Ben's scalp. "Did I really do all my homework?" "Yep," said Ben. "That's terrible," Kieran said. "I never do all my homework. Now my teachers are going to expect me to do it all the time." Grandad came over to the boys. "We just sent all the bad guys off to the detention centre," he said. "Most of them were just muscle for hire, like Bronski, but the man in charge is the one you boys caught. He's called Raymond Weston, and he used to be the headmaster of a high school." "Really?" Ben said. "Course," said Kieran. "We should have known all teachers are evil." "Kieran, you know that's not true," Nan said as she came to join them. "But Mr. Weston has had a bit of a mental break. One bit of bad homework too many, I suspect. So he decided to turn all the teenagers into perfect citizens, just to make his life easier," Ben said. "The cheek of it," said Kieran. "I hope you gave him what for, Nan?" Nan smiled. "Sure did, lovely." "What about Auntie Gertrude?" Ben asked. "Oh, she's gone with Colonel Brown to process the prisoners. I think the Colonel's going to put in a good word for her and see if he can get her spy status reinstated." Ben heard the sound of Mrs. Gillespie's scooter and turned to see the woman charging towards them. Something was wrong. Pixie wasn't in the front basket growling away as usual. "We can't find Bronski," Mrs. Gillespie squeaked. "Where's Pixie?" Ben asked. Mrs. Gillespie locked her icy stare onto Ben. "Let me guess, he needed a wee, so you let him out again." "When you've got to go, you've got to go," Mrs. Gillespie said. "Come on," said Ben, and he walked off around the back of the ride and then away towards to a small portaloo. Sure enough, there was Pixie growling, scratching and biting at the toilet door. "Ha! What do you know? He really did need a wee," Kieran said. "Pixie," Mrs. Gillespie called. Pixie turned and trotted towards her. She picked him up and placed him in the basket. Grandad knocked on the door of the portaloo. "Is it safe? Has the beast gone?" asked Bronski. "Yes, it's quite safe here," Grandad said. Boris Bronski undid the door and came out slowly. His clothes were ripped and he had little bites and scratches all over him. Ben noticed that he limped when he walked. "Aha!" Bronski screamed when he saw Pixie. "Get me away from that wild animal. I'll tell you anything. Just please don't let him at me. He broke my ankle and attacked me, and then he pee-peed on me." Bronski started crying like a toddler. There, there," said Nan. "That little dog and its owner have a reputation for making grown men cry." Nan and Grandad led Bronski away. Ben gathered his courage and walked towards Mrs. Gillespie and Pixie. Kieran followed. "I just wanted to say thanks to Pixie. He kind of saved me from Bronski. I wanted to give him this." Ben reached out a hand to Mrs. Gillespie, and in it was a brand new green Wigglypuff. Pixie stopped growling. His ears went up and his tail started wagging. He even lifted his front paw. "Ah," said Kieran, "he looks almost tame." Kieran reached out a hand to stroke Pixie. Pixie bit at it and Kieran quickly pulled it away. Mrs. Gillespie gave Pixie the Wigglypuff and he started to chomp on it. "Thank you, Ben. That was very nice of you. Although I don't know what I'm going to do with the one I've already bought him for Christmas," Mrs. Gillespie said, not sounding very grateful at all. "I might just give it to you, Ben, to replace the one that was destroyed." And with that, she turned and drove off in her scooter. Just when I think the pair of them aren't too bad, they go and do something, well, nasty, Kieran said, rubbing his hand. "They probably think the same thing about us," Ben said. "Yeah, I guess they do," said Kieran, looking strangely pleased with himself. Well, who would have thought that it was a school teacher that would be behind the whole thing? Very strange indeed. Well, I'm glad that they got him and all the bad guys have been locked up and Bronski got what he deserved. And yeah, let's hope everything remains normal now. We shall see. Well, I hope you enjoyed that book. That's Ninja Nan Strikes Again by Annaliese Matheron. And next time we will be back with a new story. So we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.